And just for transparency, do you know Pooh Shiesty personally?
Oh, Pooh Shiesty? Nah, I never met Pooh Shiesty. It's one artist in particular I do know from Memphis. You know, rest in peace, her soul, was a lot of cash. Desto. I knew her personally.
And how did you two initially meet?
I knew her since 2016, 2017. She went to some event. I used to go through Tennessee a lot, go through Memphis. She went through some event Black Youngster was at, and she was performing on stage, and I seen her, and I kind of called her before she left, and we exchanged numbers, and then she was on Twitter, and I had a Twitter at that time. I don't got Twitter no more, Facebook and all like that, but she had a Twitter and Facebook, and we were just chopping up since then. We was cool. But she was like one of my right hands, man. Like, she was 100. You know, the way she died was messed up. I don't like how people in the industry try to act like they knew her personally and all that. They ain't know her like I knew her. She wasn't like no hustler. She was kind of like a jack girl, for real. I ain't gonna put too much on her, you know, she gone. But she was kind of like a jack girl, and she was trying to change her ways. And she started rapping, and she was living with her grandma at the time. Her father was locked up at this time. He wasn't out. For all the people out there, he wasn't out. He was locked up at this time. And all she wanted to help was her grandmother. She wanted to help her little brother. You know, that's all she wanted to do. And she used to be, you know, sad, man. Like, she was smart though too. She had her own studio in her house. At her grandma's house, she knew how to record herself. She knew how to make beats. She knew how to do a lot, man. And she was trying to get on, and nobody wouldn't give her a chance. To anybody out there that hear me, they wasn't trying to help her, man. They was hating on her real bad. She tried to do her own graphic design, her arts for her mixtapes. She used to put it out there online on Facebook and Twitter. People used to laugh at her, talk about her music was garbage. I didn't know what happened to her arm. I just know she had like a burns and stuff. She didn't really give me no detail. She had to go through surgery, and I think she almost died during her surgery. I think they gave her too much anesthesia, and I thought she was finna die at that time. And I remember I was mad, going off on people about that shit. Like, her views started going up on her video that she had. She had like a music video called 250 shit, and the video started going up with the numbers. And then she ended up re-waking up from the anesthesia, and I showed her. And I said, dang, this messed up. You know, you was on your way of dying, and now your views go up. So she got mad about that. And ever since then, she turned up, man. Like, she was mad about that. She said, oh, so now my views going up. Y'all thought I was finna die. Like, all right. And then she started putting out stuff, and her views wasn't doing no more numbers. So it was like people was waiting on her to die or something, man. And it still happened. Like, Uzi gave her a free feature. She told me, like, he ain't charging them. But all the other artists she was working with, you know, later down the line, they was charging her money and everything. And I told her, I said, you don't need to do features with these people. The car that they looking at, the Lambo, you got that now. The jewelry that they wearing around their neck, you got that on your own. She was not signed to people out there. I think she didn't get signed. I think she was signed to Empire like right at the end of her career. I don't know about the Kodak Black situation, but me knowing her personally, she was humble, she was cool. If she was ride for you, she was ride for you. She didn't care who your enemies were. But she wasn't the evil person people try to portray out there. That track, whatever she did with the artist from Florida, which I never met, I got mad at her about that. You know, me and her wasn't on good terms the year before she passed. And I told her, you know, I know you cool with this person, but that wasn't the right record to do. You know, that ain't your enemies. You don't know them people. You don't know nobody from Florida. You all the way from Tennessee. Me and her had a big argument. I said, you got to start being careful on your way to success, the people you have around you. And she yelled at me, lashed at me about it. And me and her didn't talk for a year before she passed. I tried to dead it with her, but she was so angry at me about it because all I was telling her was watch her surroundings. And she didn't take heed to the word I told her. Now she gone. You know, I don't know what happened, but I do know, you know, people trying to blame and say her father had, you know, whatever her father got going on with Dolph. So all the fans out there, they ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all don't know this, you know, y'all know Destiny, man. I know her personally. And what I do know is if whatever happened, you know, in Memphis, if it would have happened in Memphis, it would have happened in Memphis. She was going back and forth to Memphis a lot. So if they want to catch her, they would have caught her in Memphis. They wouldn't have went all the way to Texas. So whatever happened with her father and the situation he got with Dolph, which I hope he ain't got nothing to do with, which I don't believe he did. Maybe he just was around some people, I don't know. But I know he was locked up the first time, you know, and then by the time he just got out, you know what I'm saying? A few months down the line, she died, and then he caught some after. So they trying to tie, you know how fans is, they be trying to tie stuff, be like acting like Inspector Gadget. Her, you know what I'm saying? Whatever her father got something to do with, it ain't got nothing to do with her. I know her personally. You know, she did have problems with people in the streets, but it had nothing to do with that. So I'm clearing her name for people trying to make a bad name, putting the Dolph emojis on her Instagram. Y'all quit all that, man. Let her rest in peace, man. She was the only artist I know she blew up without dropping any songs for sale. And she had a feature from Big 30. You know what I'm saying? I think Big 30, I think it was Big 30. I don't know if he had passed or not, but I know she had a track with Big 30 and some other artists from Memphis. And she had a track with Uzi. Uzi didn't even charge her. And she never dropped the album or EP, and she blew up without no music being for sale. She the only artist I know to do that. Had big features, put out music videos, had over 100,000 followers, and didn't have no music. You can't find it on Spotify, Apple Music, nowhere. She got my all respect, man, but I want people to let her rest in peace, man. Leave her alone, man. She ain't got nothing to do with that, man.
Why are you no longer on these social media platforms you just mentioned previously?
Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat and all that. It's like the family, man. Family, friends, people on there, all they do is argue and fight. It don't be nothing positive. And if you go on you ask anybody that got family and friends on Facebook or Twitter, they're not for to support you. So why I'm gonna be on a platform that ain't support me? I'm mainly on TikTok and Instagram. I got more support there. So that pretty much answers that. Like, it's too much negativity on Twitter and Facebook right now. And people be feeling like they got self-incriminate themselves to prove something. People doing it on Instagram too, but I don't be on Instagram like that. I be on TikTok more than Instagram. But TikTok, I got over 1,000 followers. People will support you on TikTok. So any artists out there, go on TikTok, man. That's the newest thing. You can still have Instagram, other platforms, but Twitter, Facebook, and all that ain't it, man. It's just too much drama going on. I don't want no parts of it.
And care to share your screen name on the social media platforms you're currently available on?
Instagram and TikTok, Lil Detroit 1990 1990. Just put Lil Detroit. And I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I have a backup page on my TikTok as well. But don't let people trick you and act like I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and all that other stuff. I'm not on none of those. That's mainly what I'm on right now. It's hard for me to finesse Instagram because I don't take pictures. I don't really promote myself on there like that. I just use it for the connections to the producers, upcoming producers. And I use TikTok because it's the newest thing and it's easy to get followers on there. You can put a few videos up and people just start following you. So it's more support on TikTok. It's more positive on there.
Why no pictures of you?
I have a problem with that. Since when I used to hustle in the streets, I had a problem. Even before when I was hustling in the streets when I was younger. You know, I don't do it no more. To all the people out there, you know, I'm a businessman now. But when I was younger, I used to be in the streets, and pictures wasn't a good thing. We talking about right around the MySpace era. You know, posting pictures, even taking pictures with people at the club, or anything. I had some enemies from a whole different city, which I ain't gonna say on here. But I started having enemies, and I was trying to expand, doing stuff on the streets, and it went bad. And I made me some new enemies, and they was real smart. You know, it was somebody I knew that died, that I went to school, you know, not personally I went to school with, but somebody I know that was going to school. He was going to a whole different school at the time. And the enemies the enemies pretty much, you know, I ain't gonna say my enemies, but pretty much his enemies seen a picture of him from school. And I guess they had family members, somebody that had the yearbook and seen his picture in there. So they knew he went to that school. And they caught him leaving the school and going home and got killed over a picture. And I try not to take pictures with so many people, like family members and stuff like that, even though I'm not into it no more. But that just taught me right there, even when I was in the streets, you know, be careful taking pictures with people doing stuff, because people hate you enough, they can't find you, they're going to look for your people. And they found him just off of that. And I didn't understand that even in school anyway, why strangers can buy a yearbook picture and then got your picture in there. And you don't even know them, but they got your yearbook picture with your picture in there. That's how he died, off a yearbook picture. And I found out later down the line how he died. But somebody in they family, little cousin, one of them had yearbook picture and they was looking through it and seeing his pictures. Like, oh, okay, so he go to your school. And they caught him leaving that weekend on a Friday going home.
Do you recall what age this was in your life when you met Desto?
Desto? I was 26 going on 27. It's weird. Me and her birthday is a month apart. She younger than me though, but I was like 26 going on 27. And my birthday August 12th and her birthday is September 12th, which is weird. And ours a month apart. So yeah, that's when I met her around that time. I was still traveling a lot and I ran into her. So Desto was cool, man. You know, I miss her though, for real. I ain't gonna lie. It put me down when she passed because we didn't get to dead our situation. But I had her best interest. A lot of people that was around her wasn't, you know, I don't know everybody that was around her, but I didn't like a lot of people that was around her because they wasn't helping her get where she had to go. They was letting her do wrong stuff, you know, flashing pistols on Instagram, flashing guns everywhere. I was one of the ones that she respected, that when she was doing something crazy, I would tell her it was wrong. Even if she got mad at me, I'd be like, why'd you flashing guns on Twitter? Quit doing that stuff. She'll get mad at me, but then later on she'll come back around like, man, you was right about that. But it seemed like when I distanced from her, that's when she start back up going backwards. I felt like I was like one of the people that was really, at least one of the people I knew that was keeping her on track. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stop flashing money, stop flashing guns. But she was going to advertise herself the way she wanted to anyway. But, you know, I miss her though, for real.
Do you remember the last correspondence you had with her before she passed away?
It was right after my off the porch interview. I had an off the porch interview, I think around April or May. And then that summer, she was trying to teach me about crypto. And me and her was laughing about crypto. Then there was some basketball games going on around this time. It was the playoffs going on. I think it was like May or June. And we was arguing about the games. We was bet buddy. She loved to bet. She was bet buddy on these basketball games, and she was mad that her players wasn't making the shots they was supposed to make or the right points they was supposed to make. She's like, he made 20 points this game, but this game he want to get 5 points. So we was gambling money on games and stuff like that. But that was the last best thing that I had with her. You know what I'm saying? Then I used to wake her up sometimes. Like if she was still asleep, I was an early bird. She used to be sleeping in because she had her money right, so she could sleep in. I used to have to get up and go to work in the morning. And I'll hit her up like, you up? And then she'll hit me like 2-3 hours later, like, man, she like, how she talk to me. She like, man, it's 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. What you waking me up? And she said, man, go on somewhere with that, you know. But she was cool, man. But that was the last good thing that I know of. But if you want to talk about the last time I spoke to her, that was that argument me and her had. I wish it never ended that way, but it was the last argument we had, you know what I'm saying? It was like somewhere around July. And, you know, I got mad at her about, you know, flashing guns and this big stack of money she put on social media. And I was like, what are you doing? I was mad at her about that, man. I'm like, you know, people be watching on there. People want to rob you already. And around that time, I didn't know she moved to Texas, I think, later on down the line. But this time she had like a condo somewhere in Atlanta. And I was telling her stop being flashy because I said, in Atlanta, they don't play games. They find out you got any type of money. Them jackers coming for you. And she did had a few incidents. She called me in the middle of the night and said she left the clubs and somebody tried to rob her before. She had to peel off in the car. And that being that flashy, but she continued to do it even after I told her not to. That was just how she is. But that was the last time I talked to her.
And how soon was that before she passes away?
What's weird was it was like a year, pretty much like dang near a year after that. Because last argument we had was like somewhere around July. It was July of 2021. And then that very next year, I think it was a little bit after her birthday in September, I think she passed, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like a week or two after that. But it was just weird to me because I was trying to get back. I think I was going to start trying to get back in touch with her. I was trying to dead the situation Cause she hard-headed. Like if you get into it with her, she'll get back in touch with you. But if you say something that hit the heart, you gotta reach out to her. And I feel like I should have reached out to her way before then, but I didn't. You know, cause she had said some crazy stuff to me, and I was mad. I was like, do what you want to do, you know. And I don't think she meant it, but she talked crazy to me and she get mad at you and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty much a year and a month that she passed after that. Because our last conversation was in July 2021, like towards the end of that. And that was it. A year later, I seen that she passed away on Instagram, and man, I was furious, man, because I felt like people around her didn't have her best interest. They were just there for her money.
And this last correspondence you had with her, for clarification, was this a text conversation, a phone conversation, a FaceTime conversation, or a verbal conversation you had with her?
It was a text.
In person?
It was a text conversation. I didn't get to be around her in person because the way I move differently. And she was in so much stuff, I didn't come around her. So she knew why I wasn't coming around her like that. But around this time, she was moving around so much. She was going to New York. She was going to Atlanta. She was just trying to get her face out there in the music. I was more on the downside. And I wasn't really like pushing my music or trying to do anything. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. But last thing we did, we had text. And then we stopped text after the argument. Then we was arguing on Instagram and inside the DMs. Like, it wasn't like a big argument, but I was trying to tell her. And then I was trying to be cool with her. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Forget all this. You know what I'm saying? I said, when I catch you, let's go out to eat or something like that. Forget all that. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to catch her, go out to eat with her. She was so mad at me, and she was like, man, forget that. And she got so mad at me, she stopped talking to me. Then tried to text her, then she blocked me. She blocked me completely. I couldn't say nothing to her, nothing. You know, when she get mad, she do that. And then I said, you know, I'll just bump into her next time I see her. But I think she moved out to A around this time, so she wasn't living in that condo no more. But man, I was fierce, because then I tried to come back around and spin back around on, like, pretty much a little bit before that happened. It was probably somewhere around August. I couldn't get in touch with her, and then somewhere in September she passed.
Do you have a favorite memory of her you'd like to share with the audience today?
Oh, yeah. She had when she had her surgery. When she had surgery, she woke up from her surgery. It was the surgery I remember from that she had. I wish I could have went and seen her, but I didn't even know she was having surgery. And I remember she had surgery. This around the time she woke up from her surgery, when I had told her about what people was doing, saying rest in peace on her post. And favorite memory I had was, I remember I was sad. I was saying, man, rest in peace, man. And I was kind of like going down. And when she woke up, she DM'd me. It was like, she said, man, quit all that crime, man. She said, man, I ain't dead. She said, quit all that rest in peace stuff, man. And she had me laughing on that. That was like, you know what I'm saying? She was laughing back with me, you know what I'm saying? But it was funny, man. Yeah, so I miss her though, for real. But that was one of my favorite memories with her. And then me and her betting on the games. Me and her was both betting on the game. I'll pick a team to win, and then I'll bet all my money on it, then I'll lose it. And then she'll be mad as well. She's like, man, I bet on this other team. I bet on the Mavericks, man. She said, they lost, man. I just lost $300-some. And me and her being a night on the phone laughing about the junk. She said, man, then she'll ask me what teams I'm going to pick. Then she'll pick the opposite, thinking that's going to work. And she'll bet on a player or something like that, lose money. So that was the last memory I had over that I missed, though, man. That we used to always bet on games and then lose our money every time. We was not good at betting.
When you said R.I.P., you were just joking R.I.P., or you actually thought she had passed?
Are you talking about when I first seen it?
No. When you were joking about the R.I.P.
When the R.I.P. was when everybody on her post was putting R.I.P. And
you put R.I.P. yourself?
Nah, I don't do the post stuff. She know me. I go in DMs and speak, and I had spoke to one of her cousins. I don't remember who it was, but it was one of her female cousins. Everybody was on there saying R.I.P. on her post. And I just happened to get on Facebook, and I'm thinking she was finna pass away. So I DM'd with her people, one of her female cousins. I don't know who it was. And her cousin messaged me back, said, man, they gave her too much anesthesia and she ain't woke up yet. And I was like, what? So I was thrown off around this time, because around this time she was just dropping like a lot of music, like underground music video. This one she wasn't even a lot of Cash Desto. This one she was Big Desto. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't Fly Desto no more. She was Big Desto. And she kept changing her name. She was trying to find something that fit her. And everybody was saying RIP, so I was mad. And then I started seeing her video. I just kept playing her video, and I seen the views go up. So then I DM'd her, not knowing if she passed away or not, you know what I'm saying, really yet, because her cousin said she's still in a coma from her surgery. So I just DM'd her, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think she was going to wake up or anything. And I'm like, man, it's messed up that people put RIP, and you know what I'm saying, and don't even know if you gone, now your views on your video showing up. So as soon as she woke up, that's what she seen. That I had DM'd her that, and she went off. She wasn't mad at me. She was going off on people on the post. And like, who said I was dead? And oh, now my video doing 5,000, 10,000 views or whatever else. She was irritated by that, and then I'm the one who told her. So when I DM'd her, I guess when she woke up and seen it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't say RIP on her post or anything like that. They was putting it. But I didn't even say RIP in her DMs because I was so angry. I was pretty much telling her what was going on, even though she was in the coma. I was like, it's messed up. People think you finna die, and now they want to say, you know, put RIP and then your video views going up. So I felt some type of way about that, but I couldn't argue with her people because I didn't know them. But there was a lot of people on her Facebook friends, and I was irritated by that, man. I feel like they was hating on her anyway. Now y'all want to play her video. And they pretty much did it the same way. As soon as she passed, they did the same shit. Her view, she had a song with Lil Uzi. It barely had 100,000 views, even with Uzi. As soon as she passed, I think it's like close to 500,000, close to 1 million now. So, man, people some clowns, man. I ain't with that. That's why I keep to myself, and I don't really associate with a lot of social media because it's all games to people. People be playing with people dying, and they be investigating on it, try to figure out what happened to them. Don't even personally know these people. And long as people go with the image that people think this person is, they get on comments after they die and say the most foul shit about her. You know, I don't like that, man. So to all the fans out there, man, her real fans, if y'all want to keep her alive, keep playing her music, her videos, and posting it, man, I'm not with that negative stuff, man, because I personally know.
Now, what's the best advice you ever received from her, or most important thing you learned being around her?
Shoot, I learned the most from her. I learned with her, she really didn't like teach me anything because, you know, I was older than her. But one thing I did learn from her, take risk. She would take risks, man. She didn't, like I told you, I yelled at her about her posting money. I yelled at her about getting jewelry from Johnny Dang. I was yelling at her about different stuff because I didn't want her to be a target because I know that's what people like and they'll try to do stuff to you. But her, she took the risk. She'll take it. Like, I think she went to either New York or somewhere and she was looking for Uzi. And I think Lil Uzi had a show or something going on. She just popped up on him and I think he picked her up from the airport or something. And it was crazy. Like, when she wanted to do stuff, she didn't care what the results was going to be. She just did it. And I'm using that strategy now. Because at first I used to sit back and overthink everything. But now I just be like, you know what, if I want to go do an interview, let me just do it and get out the way. I don't overthink it no more. So I actually got some of that strategy from her. Not overthinking stuff, just doing it. But I still think if I'm going to make a move, I think that through. Like if an environment or somewhere I'm not supposed to be, and I'll look around. But far-wise, it's just with the music industry, just doing. If you're going to put out a project, just do it. Don't wait 2-3 years. So when I told people I'm going to put out a project, I'm putting it for pre-order by next month, I'm going to put it out for pre-order next month. So that's one thing I did learn from her is just do it, man.
Is there any music between you two?
Nah, that's what's crazy. We ain't never do no music. I want to actually get beats from her. People don't know she was a producer too. She used to make beats. I think after a while, I don't know who she was getting beats from, but she used to make beats. And I used to buy beats from different producers. Rest in peace, Fallout Beats. He was from Atlanta, he had passed. I wanted to get some beats from her. But she stopped producing. I don't know why, but her beats was hard, man. It was like some 3 6 Mafia type of beats. I ain't making none of this up. I used to hear her beats. And I'm like, did you sample that? Or is that Project Pat stuff? And she like, nah, I made this. And I used to be zoned out like, what? So she made her own beats. So I want to get beats from her, never had a chance to. I want to actually do music with her. But after that situation, she had a track with the artist from Florida, and it was draw bad attention. I kind of fell back until I was gonna wait till that image, that image of her that was trying to paint die down, because she just had a target on her back, and I told her let that junk die down, leave that junk alone. But yeah, man.
Anything else you want to mention about Desto, or a question you weren't asked, people want to know about her?
So I pretty much cleared it up. She ain't had nothing to do with Dolph and all that, man. That wasn't her motto, man. Her thing was just to make money and make music. So I want to clear that up with everybody out there. She ain't got nothing to do with that. And this coming from a person that personally know her, I didn't get to really go around her like her brother and her father and all them, because I was at a distance. Because I stay in Tennessee. I've been in Tennessee for over 10 years. I've been living in Chattanooga for over 10 years. And I used to go through Memphis, you know what I'm saying? So she was a good person, man, good-hearted person. But anybody out there, even the people that was in Florida that took it some type of way when she dissed they people, I don't think she meant to do that. She just did that for that artist, because anybody she ride with, she ride for them. That's one good thing I'm going to say about her. She didn't care who your enemies were. If she felt like you had her back, she had yours. But she did it in the worst way possible. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have to make that diss song to whoever died. But she didn't do it out of disrespect. She did it for him. I know she did, because that's how she is. Like, if I had enemies and somebody talking crazy on my post, she'll jump right on the post and say some crazy stuff. This one I used to have Facebook. So if somebody said something crazy on my post, she jumped right on the post and say, who got a problem with, you know what I'm saying? She used to go off. So that's one thing about her. When she was riding for you, she ride with you to the casket drop, man. It was good. It was good for her and bad for her. She used to overdo it sometimes to the point it put her in bad positions, whoever your enemies is. But me, I kept her separate from my enemies. If I had enemies, I ain't let her get involved in that. That's my problem. Me as a man, I stand 10 toes on my problem. I don't need you to jump in and do nothing. Leave that alone.
Anything else on Desto?
Sure. Nah, not I can think of, man. All I can say is she was a good person. She was a good person. She was a lovable person. She ain't the people think. She did something wrong in her life, on some street stuff, but I ain't gonna mention, you know what I'm saying? But she tried to be a better person. She did try. It's just I don't know what was going on, that she felt like, she was alone at times, and she used to tell me artists in the industry was fake. She never told me who she was talking about with that, but she was saying, these artists fake, and I didn't know what was going on around this time. But it was right around the time she signed, I think she was finna sign with Empire or something like that. She was like, man, these artists fake. And she never told me what was going on. This was right around the time she was finna sign with Empire, I think. When I was trying to get back in touch with her. But that was the last thing I actually could say I heard from her was, she was telling me before our argument, she was telling me, these artists is fake and blah, blah, blah. And I think over time, she was with Empire, some other stuff. I didn't really know what was going on. I wasn't around her personally. I don't know what chick she was around. I was just distant from her.
Mentally, has this been something you sought any professional help over?
I never been the person that needed a psychiatrist or like a therapist or anything like that. I don't know what it is. I got a strong mindset. I done lost a lot of people, man. Like I told you, I lost my producer that got killed in Atlanta. Everybody know Lamont, you know what I'm saying? Lamont Johnson, you know what I'm saying? We really called him CJ. He died in 2018. Then a year later, my cousin died in December. Then before they passed, I had some artists, people don't know, I had some artists on my team that died. One of them from New Orleans. She was from Ninth Ward. She got killed in a car with somebody. She was with somebody in an all-black car, and whoever came out the store that she was waiting on, they came and jumped in the car. I guess they thought she was in the car by herself. He jumped in the driver's seat. They lit the car up. She was in it. They didn't know she was in it. So I lost a lot of people, man. I lost my sister to a shooting. I lost my cousins. This all happened way before I was rapping. Way before high school. Around high school, I lost my other cousin to a shooting. I lost some of my homies. I lost some of my homegirl. And at first it used to bother me real bad. But then I don't know what it did. It made me mentally strong or something, because now if I hear somebody pass, I just be messed up about it. And then I just like, it's life, man. Ain't nothing I can do about it. But when she passed, it put me down hard. A lot of people death affected me differently, but I always keep working and keep moving. I don't dwell on it that long. So how I deal with it, I just keep getting the money, man. I'm not finna sit there and dwell it, because nobody ain't gonna feel sorry for me. So if anybody out there that's dealing with it, I don't know how people deal with it. I'm not the type of person that start smoking weed and drinking. I just go to work and get some more money. That's the only way to throw me off what's going on.
Be that as it may, do you want any professional help over?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm from the streets, man. Like, I've been seeing this, going through this, so I ain't trying to be hard or nothing like that, but I'm mentally good, man. It's just how I deal with stuff. I sit on it. I deal with it. Even if I got to sit in the house for like a week. I know when she passed, I had sat in the house for like 2 weeks. I ain't go nowhere. I ain't go to the stove. I just sat in the crib until I got done dealing with the way I wanted to. Then I got back out, got to the money. So usually anytime somebody dies, I stay in the crib for a while. And then I come out and come out stronger than I ever was. You know, so her death really messed me up, but it made me a lot stronger. So, you know, but I ain't to where I'm like depressed and sad. People need to feel sorry for me. You know, so I'm not the only one going through stuff.